Hi guys, Andy Work here, back again, part, I think 7, not quite remember. Anyway, okay, what we've got is the body, the rear. So what I've done, I actually sat down the other day and started writing a list of the things I've got to do, and there's 10 or 12 items here, and that starts at the rear here and gets about to here. All this is still got to be sorted out. But the first thing I've got to do, which pertains to this, is how far this steel barrel spine sticks out, because I've cut it so there's thread at that end. So if I can recess this nut and everything below this surface, I can then just stick that straight on, and I've got no great issues, which would be a great idea. And I might even be able to work out a way of putting that on with a couple of screws, so I can take that off, take the nut off, and you can pull the whole thing apart if you need to, even though the body parts are going to be glued together. Because the bolt actually will slide in from the side, so it's easy to get in and out. Even though I'm going to have those two support rods, it'll still be easy to do, because I can put that in, then put the support rod through from the top, and put the screws in from the back. So the first thing is to work out how much of this I've got to cut off. Now that nut only goes down that far on that rod for some reason. It's like it's got a tapered thread. So I've got to find a washer that's going to fit over that, so I can put under that, then work out how much of this plastic I have to cut away just to make enough of a recess for that to drop. And at the moment, that looks to be about, a good 10 mil. So even if I bring that nut up a bit, like there, it'll still be 10 mil, but there'll be the thickness of the washer. Now the washer is an issue, because I looked for one the other day and I couldn't really find one, so I might have to make one out of a piece of metal or something, but I'll go and see what I can find and get back to you. Got that recessed in, bit of damage on the inside, but that's no great hassle. So that's far enough in that when I put the front plate in, no problems. So that tells me how much I have to cut off here, which is very easy, just mark that. But also, what I'm planning to do is this plastic rod with the indexing holes for the adjustable butt is going to be glued onto this. So I'm going to pull that bit off, put that back where it goes, like so, and make a mark about there. So now I know between those two marks is where I'm going to drill a series of holes, cut that off, drill a series of holes, whack some araldite on the inside of that, and just slide it on. Now that hole is really close to that end, this hole is further away, so this is the end that goes up here. Now that glued to that is not glued to that, but this is glued together and this is glued together, and so the whole thing can be taken apart if necessary. So I will get on with that bit of it. So there we go. Okie dokie. So time for the angle grinder. Oh, also the thing to do here is I'm going to put a piece of tape over that just to stop any araldite coming out of there. I don't mind if it gets into the holes, because it'll help strengthen them because they're a bit rough, but I don't want it all over this surface and causing all sorts of problems. So I'll get cutting and drilling and get back to you when I get to the glue. Right guys, now I just filmed the entire process of gluing this onto the metal bar, and all 12 minutes of the video were out of shot. So now it's about 20 minutes later and the glue's dried, but as a demonstration, this is the piece of bar, and it's got holes in it all the way down here. Right, so what I did, put the glue all over that from the start of the holes, which was about here, making sure I didn't get any up there, and had the plastic sleeve slid on from this end, so as I pushed it along, the glue was going that way and it just dribbled out the end. So I've positioned it so I can still pull this apart. This should just come out, yeah, still loose, good, that's great. And also I didn't get a nice shot of that nut, so you can see how much it's recessed. I'm pretty butchered it in there, but it's below the level of the support for the front plate, so that just fits in like that. And I'm hoping to be able to just put a couple of screws in there to hold that all in, so just make it real easy. But right now it's about 30 degrees in the shed, and I'm actually kind of concerned about this stuff sitting in the shed, because it actually, the plastic is getting quite warm, so I'm taking it all inside. Right, hi guys, it's just before 8 in the morning here, and it's getting really hot, so I'm going to do this quick now. Right, glued that yesterday, so that's nice and smooth, so that I'm going to just sand down until the stock can slide on and off really easy. So that's one of the jobs for today. Second job is I'm going to glue these two little handles on, glue them on and put a screw in there. I should have molded them as part of it, but I thought I was going to make, you know, movable switches, but it's just too much trouble. So glue them on, put a screw through in it to get the Dremel in there, and just grind out the tip of the screw. So that's that. Now here is the original bolt, and you can see in my quest for accuracy I made it really weak. It just snapped straight across. I mean, that's ridiculously thin, that wall there. So the new bolt is somewhat thicker. Things have been made thicker, walls thicker, supports thicker and wider. And also, this is a failed version, I think we had a power outage. The top half is 100%, so it's got the strength where it needs it, so that's a good thing. So first thing I'm going to do is get this nut and bolt out of here and put it in this. I've got a hexagonal recess there for a bolt, so I've got to find a bolt that fits that, and if I can't, it's just a case of redrawing the cocking handle to fit. But I'm pretty sure I've got one just over here on the desk somewhere. Right, now I've just managed to find one of these spade blades, so I'm just going to scrape off that, nice and flat, and scrape off the burr that's on the inside of that, which will be really difficult because I don't want to break this bit. And I'll probably sand that down a little bit by just rubbing it on the surface, like so. Yeah, nice and flat. So that goes there, that goes there. So okie dokie guys, so we've got hole there ready to go, but then I've just noticed that the surface is pretty disgusting, so I'm going to just get the old standby 10mm putty and just rub a bit into the surface, sand it down, smooth it out. I'm planning to spray the whole blaster with that automotive spray filler, but that only does really fine grooves and stuff. This is surface printing, so it's pretty noticeable. There's a few spots on the blaster where I've got to do that, but I'll just do this on these bits, and once that's dry and sanded, then I'll do the whole screwing down and gluing down thing. Minor delay, but it's got to be done to make it look good. There we go. That's all you need to do, because the sanding will take care of most of the work, as much as I love that. Right, so next thing is the bolt, and what I'm planning to do is glue these supports in like that, one on either side. And what I want to do particularly is not get any glue on this part, so what I'm going to do, put some glue in there, push this all the way through, and there'll be tape over this end, so some glue will come out on the tape. Take some of that glue, push this all the way through to there, put some glue in there, then just slide it back. And hopefully there won't be too much glue all over the place. I'm going to try and get the glue in there as deep as I can. So I've got to cut 2 of them and get that done. Be right back. Okay, here we have our bolt, and here we have our 2 little inserted brass rods. And once they're glued in, they will act as guides for the aluminium rod here. Right. So that'll act as a guide for the aluminium rod, which houses the threaded steel rod that goes through it. So, like that. So that'll travel from the front of the receiver right back to here. So I've got to find some nuts that'll fit that. It's going to be fun, considering the trouble I've had finding other things recently. But first things first, I'm going to glue these brass rods into place. So first thing I'm going to do is put some tape over both ends to catch any overflow of the glue, because I don't want that going anywhere. Just realised what I'll do is I'll put the glue in from this end on a long probe that's long enough to get down to about here. So I can just put it in, so it doesn't matter if glue gets on that bit, because it's coming through this way, it's going to push it out anyway. So I need to find a long probe type thing, like okie dokie. I've got my stirring stick and my iodide all mixed up, and what I've found is a piece of the old support material off the, I think it's actually off the bolt. No, it's off the gun body. So anyway, just cut off this loose bit and load this up with about half of it and straight down there. I'm going to move it until I can see it at the end, and there it is. Now I can feel it touching the surface. Alright, so first one through like that. Give it a spin around, take it through, and get a little bit more glue, and push it back. Got to push it back just below the level of the tape. Yep, that's good at both sides, so that's good, except I've got glue all over my hands, which was clever. I have to work quick because it's 5-minute alloy, as I said. It's the problem, you've got like a minute and a half to work with 5-minute alloy, whereas 24-hour you've got 20 minutes, so that's why I prefer it. Okay, you can feel it picking up the glue. Bit of glue there in the front. Take it through. Take that glue off. They're obviously going to need some little bit of judicious sanding, or maybe even a pin vise put in there just to get rid of a bit of that glue. Won't be a great problem, I don't believe. Okie dokie, take that one back. Just below. Yeah, a bit of glue on the back, but that's not a problem. Okay, cool. So that's our bolt prepared to be mounted. And one last thing I've done, I've just rubbed the surface of the butt plate with Tamiya putty just to smooth it out. I had ironing on the bamboo, but it came out pretty rough looking, and got a little bit of putty in that gap there I didn't see. There we go. So that can just get glued on the back here. I've put a recess in the top there, and I've got a little tab there. Once that's sanded, just glue it on and paint it in. Okay, see you later guys.